Shit, I'm only seeing these girls, they dealers and dudes that got nice cars. I got to get me some nice cars to get me some ass. Oh, I got to get some jewelry. I got to get fly. That's what it was about. And I got to get fly. That's what it was about.
And the way you saw to get fly was
that's the only people I seen to respect.
Yeah.
They only respected the criminals in the game. Right. Because we gonna be honest. I always tell people this. When that guy in the 80s pull up with that Benz, Envy know what I'm talking about. He got the Benz in the 80s. He got that gold chain on. He got that Fila sweatsuit on with them Filas. He got them rings on, them nugget rings and all that shit. And he pull up to the neighborhood. He's pulling up to our black communities to deal with the most beautifulest girl in our neighborhood. And when he pull up to get her, as he open in the car door and she get in the car door, you know who's speaking to him? Miss Johnson, Miss Brown, Miss Green. They go, hey, baby. But at the same time, you seeing Mr. John come back from work. He's a plumber, all dirty, and nobody speaking to him. I'm sitting on the step watching all this shit take place. So I said, damn, I got to be a part of this shit. In the black community, the women dictate who the man want to grow up to be based off of who they date.
That's real.
So I'm looking at it like,
hey, yo, y preto, hermano. Yo, black men, my youth, listen to me, you know. Listen, in this one, I got another one for you guys. You know, comment section in the background, 2K in the background. But you guys saw the clip of Gilly. I'm sorry, Wallo on the Breakfast Club, right? And he was talking about how pretty much, you know, when he was growing up in the 80s, growing up in the 90s, you know, for black men who are old enough to see it and remember it, right? Or who saw it and remember it, right? You guys remember, you know, again, just like Paid in Full, Mitch coming through in the neighborhood with the brand new red BMW, Ace coming through with the gold BBSs on his Saab. You feel me? You got dudes coming through with the gold Cuban bricks. You know what I mean? Like, this is what it is, dude. It was promoted to us black people as something that you're supposed to be. This is what's cool. And again, I know about, you know, the history with the black community. And, you know, the guns were dropped off by the CIA. The drugs were dropped off by the CIA. COINTELPRO, mass incarceration. I understand everything, right? But this is what's been promoted. You feel me? And the key thing that Wallo said in the video was that as a young black man, when you're growing up, black women dictate to you. They don't physically tell you this or verbally tell you, listen, get out here and sell drugs. It's the fact that these are the men that they choose. You see who black women give the attention to. You see who black women give their love to. You see who they show all the affection to. Again, guys who have the most kids, guys who are getting the most sex. You see who receives it. And like he said, the black man who's coming home from his job, he's a plumber, he's an electrician, he's a carpenter. You know, he works at the factory. Yo, listen, nobody's talking to him. Mrs. Johnson, Miss Parker, Mrs. Green, you know, etc. Yo, listen, when a dope boy pull up in his brand new car, his brand new BMW, brand new Benz, yo, growing up, yo, my pops, yo, New York City in the 80s, yo, he told me all the time in the 80s and 90s, yo, listen, when he was walking, nobody was checking for him. Yo, the moment he copped the Lexus, yo, every shorty looking his way. You feel me? And it doesn't matter if you had the Lexus, the BMW, the Benz, you had the Saab, yo, you had some kind of wheels that was foreign. You were wearing the Adidas suit, the Fila suit with the Cuban chains. Yo, listen, they going for you. But what I'm trying to get to is the women dictate who the young men want to become because we see who the women pick. You see what I'm saying? And in the comment section, right, in the thread I'm playing for you guys in the background, I'm gonna start it now. In the thread, you see, listen, the dude talked about in the black community, the hardworking square black man always loses his woman to the street ninja / hustler. He has the charisma, charm, edge, and courtship that the hardworking black man doesn't. Now that's cap. That's cap. I don't know who these dudes refer to when they talk about that. Listen, I make content for productive black men, critical thinking black men who don't want to jump in the streets, black men who don't want to have to go through their prison system, black men who feel like, listen, I get that if I do this, it brings a short term result, but in the long run, it does nothing for me. Listen, that's the guys who I make content for. You feel me? And you got people talking about, oh, he's projecting. You know, you got women who want to talk down on these on brothers like him, making a comment, or you're insecure, or you're salty. Who's that one chick? I played it in a YouTube short, but she went viral like last year when she was with Anton Daniels on stage talking about some, oh, all you black dudes who be talking about, oh man, you run off with the drug dealer and stuff like that. She said, grow up. You feel me? Get over it. You getting pussy now. It's not about what I'm doing right now. It's about how what you people did affected my mental. You know, one thing I caught on to something, right? A lot of black men, you know, and I can talk about this from experience because I'm one of them, right? A lot of black men, you know, you kind of go through the phase of escapism. And what I mean by that is, you know, you dive into certain things. Like some dudes are really into anime, some dudes are really into video games, some guys are really into things that would be considered, I guess, nerd behavior. Oh, he's weird. Oh, he's different, etc. You know, some dudes are alternative. Some dudes are into punk rock. You feel me? Like, I realize a lot of black men, not too many, but a good percentage, and these kind of black men, myself included, you escape into other aspects that don't really deal anything with being black because again, you grow up in these environments, dude. If not directly in it, because your parents birthed you into the trenches, you were probably 2 blocks away, 3 blocks away. You feel me? A 2 to 5 minute drive away from the hood. So you saw this stuff, and again, especially inside this the American public school system. Come on, son. Glocktavius, he always been winning. I've said it before. The street dudes win more than the athletes. The athletes only win on the fact that he has potential to go to the league. You feel me? If the dude is not going to the league, if he's not D1 caliber, no one's checking for him. They're looking for the dude with the blue, purple, red, black, yellow flag. You feel me? And I think to myself sometimes, I'm like, yo, that's why so many black men, you know, try to escape. You feel me? And once you escape, you realize, yo, I don't want to go back to those environments. You see that, listen, now you get to actually be yourself. You feel me? That's one thing a lot of black kids you go through because, you know, you can't be yourself, man. I'm gonna read this comment from the thread, right? You guys probably already passed it, but for me, I can still look at it and see. Um, this one dude said, "This square man's fault. Women generally go for men like their fathers. Street dudes are literally outbreeding you, and so their sons grow up to be just like them, and their daughters to grow up to be like their daughters grow up to like the men like them. If the hood dude starts having kids starting at 16 to 18, I've talked about this before, and they're popping out 6 to 12 kids. Meanwhile, the square is 35 to 45, having 1 to 2 kids. um, how do you think that's going to play out? Children are the future. History belongs to the breeders." And I'm like, yo, listen, history does belong to the breeders, but the women pick. The women pick. So if you want to say, oh, at 16, 17, 18, when those young dudes, because let's keep it a stack, the average street dude at 16, 17, 18, he does not have money. Don't talk about some, oh man, they got money, bro. No, they don't, dude. The average street dude at 18 does not have 10,000. Most of them dudes can't even flip an onion. You feel me? Most of these dudes smoke their own product. Stop playing, dude. Maybe hustlers from the 80s and 90s, 70s, and you know what I mean? But like, nah. The average young dude today, them dudes are broke. Them dudes barely have drugs. You feel me? These dudes will have no whip, no place to trap out of, no type of funds, no cash flow, and he barely has drugs. The new age drug dealers are on drugs more than what they even have to sell. What are you talking about? But what he said was true. Yes, the hood dudes, They are outbreeding the kids. I'm sorry, outbreeding the productive black men, but that's because the women choose. The women pick. And they're not picking these dudes because they have money. Yo, those street dudes do not give black women money. They don't take black women out the hood. They don't buy black women no cars, buy her clothes, take care of the kids. These dudes, all they do is go inside her Section 8 apartment, trap, and sell drugs out of her place until she's tired of him. Then he moves on to the next shorty, knocks her up. You feel me? Sell drugs out of her place, drive her car while she's at work. These dudes are living the baby boy Jody lifestyle in real life. That's the average street dude. The average. Okay, you might have a few dudes who are really doing something. He's really getting money. He's really going from spot to spot. That's a small number. Most those type of dudes who's really doing it like that, he maybe has one kid. And again, like I said, the women pick. I've told multiple stories on my channel. Yo, the black women who I was friends with at that time when I was younger, they were choosing street dudes. These street dudes did not have money. And let me tell you something about these street dudes. Let me tell you what they do in private that no one knows about. These dudes will share a bankroll. What I mean by that is, listen, it might be a stack of like 5,000. I remember this one dude back in school, right? Everybody thought he had money because of the picture he posted. Come to find out, listen, that wasn't his money. You feel me? What these guys do, listen, they share clothes, they share shoes, and they share money. So let's say it's a bankroll. Let's say it's $5,000, but it's all in 20s, right? One guy gets his turn to take a picture with it. One guy gets his turn to take a picture with it. The next guy gets his turn to take a picture with it. So what you're looking at are the same 3 to 5, 6 guys taking the same picture with the same bankroll. These dudes are not getting money for real. So let's talk about it, man. And again, you had that sim talk about, yeah, black women, they doing this and you know what I'm saying, the street dudes are outbreeding you. They're outbreeding black men because black women choose these dudes. They don't have to choose them, but they choose to. You feel me? So all it does is cause a power dynamic in the system. You feel me? Now hold on. You guys probably already passed this comment as well, but here goes another significant one. Imagine if black women gave black nerds the same attention they gave street dudes. No pussy for dope dealing, killing, or prison. The black community would majorly improve in a week. Brothers would go back to school and all. It's all power to the pussy. But sadly, they seem to be attracted to the most toxic traits of masculinity because they've been shown this. Again, we've all been shown this on the TV screen, on the movie, in the music. Black people, we've been shown that, listen, the street stuff is masculinity, even though it's false masculinity. But who believes it? Who believes it? For all you dudes you grew up without your father, that's because your mom chose a street dude. So by the time you were born, your dad was in prison already. Your dad was in jail already. Or guess what? He just did not want to be a father, so he left. He bounced. That's nobody's fault besides them. The reason why the community is so bad is because of them. Like I said, if you really want to go back to it, go back to the 60s. You talk to black men who are in the late 60s, early 70s as far as age, right? These black men would tell you how, listen, we were living over here, right? In a neighborhood that's not the projects. Then these dudes talk about how, listen, me, my mom, my aunt, all types of people, women in his family, guess where they moved to? In the projects. So when Ronald Reagan was the president and they brought the CARES Act in, they brought the food stamp stuff, all that kind of stuff. They brought that into the black neighborhoods. Guess what black women did? They left black men. So we'll rather take a chance on getting a government subsidized check over the black man who's working every day, right? Because before the 60s, I'm not saying criminals did not exist. I'm just saying drug dealers weren't really. I mean, yeah, you had Frank Lucas and stuff like that, but I mean, how many black dudes were really out there selling heroin? I'm sure the black men who sold heroin, as far as the number amount compared to black men who sold crack, you know what I'm saying? It was probably a large increase. And the black men who were selling crack were from those environments that black women chose to leave black men, move into the government's project, right? AKA, listen, if your neighborhood you grew up in and with something homes, you're in the hood, you're in the projects. They feeding you government cheese, government milk. You feel me? And black women, one thing I also realized about this too, about the projects, you have, and maybe I could be wrong, the black people who are really living, breeding generations of family in the projects, I think those were the black people who were the most affected by slavery, because that buck broken mindset, it's still with them. You feel me? I've noticed that about the blacks who grow up in those environments, that buck breaking mindset, that shut up and obey mindset, it's really ingrained in them. But that's because that generational curse is still strong. You feel me? Though I've been broke it down, dude. My content is full circle. It's full circle. And again, I'm sorry, not Gilly, but Wallo, he's talking about something real, because as a young black man, again, I've been seeing it since I was a young man. The women choose nothing but the worst type of dudes. Now you could say, oh, Latinas, they choose street guys. Yes. But the average Latino dude is not trying to be a cartel member. You feel me? Most Latino dudes are actually trying to be a regular guy. Again, I'm not saying cartel members don't win, cartel members don't have the baddies, but I'm just saying that it's not promoted to them as something that they should do, right? The women as a whole aren't saying, "Oh, we're looking for cartel members, we're looking for street dudes." Nah, dude. Nah, they're not saying that as a whole. White women, again, what they consider to be cool isn't the white boy who wants to be a wigger. Even though I'm not saying a wigger couldn't get white girls, I'm just saying that the wigger isn't what's typically, stereotypically cool in the white community. An Asian person, what's stereotypically cool is K-pop, not the dude who wants to be, Asian, and he's acting like a black dude from the hood. Like, come on, son. Come on. It's just ah when you really look at it, they bring down the community as a whole. I'm not saying that black men don't contribute, but come on, son. I've mentioned this in multiple videos. Women have power, dude. Their power is social power. If all black women said, listen, we want black men to wear tidy whities and Timberland boots, I bet you black men will get out here and do it. If they say we want black men, listen, no more thugs, no more criminals, no more going to jail. If you have a felony record, you can't get no kids, you can't have no sex. Listen, like the dude said, I said it before in multiple videos. Yes, if black women for just one generation gave all the black men who have to wait until after 30, because let me tell you something, right? The dude said black men 16, 17, 18, the street guys are having kids, and they're having 3, 4, 6, 8 kids by 3, 4, 5 different black women. So by the time, as a black man, you're practical, right? You're practical. You're thinking, listen, I'm going to wait till I get my life at least in a stable position, right? I have a good career. I have a home. I have a vehicle. I have good income. I can actually afford to take care of a family versus being some street dude. You selling drugs, trying to rap, you knocking women up, living in the trap. You got your kids living in the trap. Like, come on, son. Like, you birthing your kids right into poverty. God forbid you go to jail. It's done. Now you got this black woman stuck with 3 kids, 4 kids, and she's a burden to any black man she goes and get with. Because now, guess what? These same black women, when they're 16, 18, 21, 25, 28, 32, 35 years old, all the way up to their 40s, some turning around by 30 years old. But again, if they're spending all this time dating street guys, hood guys, thugs, criminals, and as a productive black man, you have to wait until you're 35 years old or at least 32 to finally get your hands on a black woman. Yo, come on, son. You don't even want it no more. You saw too much. It listen, the mental pressure, the mental strain that most dudes go through, and that's why I talk about the escapism. Most dudes escape into books, video games, anime, you feel me, alternative, punk rock, all that other kind of stuff, because it allows you to mentally escape from the black community, even though you're physically living in it. That's why those kind of dudes, they always do good with they always do good with non-black women. I think it's to the point to where even non-black women know. They know the type of black dude who isn't trying to be the stereotype. That's the black man who you should get with, because those black men had to mentally go through something to get. Listen, he's been through the fire already. Going through the fire on a mental level, it's a lot tougher than the physical, because why? Pain is temporary. You feel me? It's short term. That mental pressure, dude, that's what breaks you. When your mind breaks, that's everything. That's you're pretty much done at that point. You feel me? So I'm telling you, it's crazy, dude. And then you had so many people, specifically women, right, who were talking about, you know, um, black dudes who do this and they're lame. And again, you guys can see the thread, man. The thread was toxic, man. The thread was toxic. The thread was really toxic. I don't really want to go into it too much. Again, I think at this point we already know what's good, dude. I've been told, black men, listen, just go and find you a non-black woman. Get your passport. Especially for you black dudes, you had to suffer in places like Alabama, suffer in places like Atlanta. You had to suffer in Philly. You had to suffer in DC. You had to suffer in NYC. You had to suffer in Chicago, suffer in Detroit. I mean, bro, listen, pack your bags and go, dude. Pack your bags and go. You don't realize how many more opportunities you have, but you're still stuck on, oh man, black women. Yeah. Oh, it's funny. It's funny. It's funny. It's funny. It's funny. Again, I've talked about it before, man. The stats, the numbers, it's all out there. You feel me? It just goes to show. Listen, the black community is done. It's garbage. It's truly nothing, dude. It's truly nothing. I mean, if you want to keep on playing the games, you want to save it. Again, by all means, go ahead. I'm promoting, brothers. Listen, you have another option. You have, listen, not just one other option. You have multiple options. So I suggest that you guys exercise them. But anyways, black man, I'm out. Peace.